we've got our 50-foot rule, pub social gathering rules that are currently enacted. These new, more stricter rules come into effect tonight at midnight and will continue for 14 days, 2 weeks, unless we have it's amended or suspended by future council action. Okay, let's get to the nitty-gritty. What business establishments must close? Must close. These are bars, lounges, and private clubs, fitness centers and gyms, bingos and amusement redemption centers, reception halls and party rental places, malls, entertainment facilities such as bowling alleys, movie theaters, etc. How are restaurants affected by this? All restaurants must close their dining area, but are allowed to remain open to provide takeout, delivery, or drive-through. What are some of the exemptions? Which ones are allowed to proceed forward? Grocery stores, hardware stores, office spaces, residential buildings, and hotels, etc. Pharmacies, hospitals, medical facilities, and veterinary facilities as well. What's exempted as well? Spaces where people may be in transit or waiting for transit, such as airports and bus terminals. Public or private gatherings of no more than 10 people in a single enclosed space, including businesses where people are present, but it is unusual for them to be within arm's length of one another for extended periods of times. Again, much like what we had before, but even to a greater degree with 10 people rule now. To further clarify, some of the permissible or allowable gatherings would be daycare centers, childcare facilities, only if no more than 10 people are in a single enclosed space, including staff and employees. Funeral homes, funerals, only if no more than 10 people are in a single indoor or outdoor space, including employees and staff. Retail stores, only if no more than 10 people are in a single enclosed space, including customers and employees or staff. Salons, hair, nail spas, only if no more than 10 people are in a single enclosed space, including customers and employee staff. Banks and financial institutions, only if no more than 10 people are in a single enclosed space, including customers and employees and staff. Mind you, the 6-foot rule still applies. So regardless of any of these facilities, regardless of any of these allowable gathering sites, we are recommending that you still remain within 6 feet of people at this time. So please follow those rules, even if it is an allowable gathering or permissible gathering by law. Does this affect places of employment? You may still go to work as long as 10 or more people are not present in a single space at the same time, and safety protocols are in place, such as hand sanitizers and temperature measuring stations, to ensure that they don't become vectors for COVID-19, which means obviously work continues for the most part, but you cannot be in a space, a closed space, an office space, with more than 10 people at one time. Can I still go outside for recreational activities? Yes, you can go outside for recreational activities. However, we recommend that you practice social distancing, and that's across the board with everything else. For us, how does that affect board meetings, commission meetings? We are canceling all commissions and board meetings during this declaration period. Can I continue riding transit? Yes, public spacing or spacing requirements have already been instituted, and buses are sanitized as needed and are required to drive with open windows to circulate fresh air. Will I be evicted from my home during the declaration period? To the extent allowed by law, no landlord shall evict a tenant for lack of payment while this declaration is in effect. Do I have to cancel my planned partying like a wedding or quinceañera, etc.? Yes. If there is a likelihood that more than 10 people will attend your party, you need to cancel that event or postpone. All social gatherings of more than 10 people are prohibited during this declaration period. Can a reception hall or party rental place charge me for changing the date of my canceled event? Businesses are prohibited from charging fees for canceled events that are scheduled to occur during the declaration period, to the extent allowed by law. Who is actually enforcing this? The order will be enforced by our Laredo Police Department officers and City of Laredo code enforcement inspectors. What are the penalties if I don't comply? Upon conviction, violations are a Class C misdemeanor punishable by a fine of not less than $50 and not more than $2,000. Will I still be billed for my utilities during this time? Yes, customers will still be billed during the next 2 weeks. However, no local utility shall discontinue the provision of cable, internet, water, gas, waste removal, and electricity utilities services to a local resident for lack of payment while this declaration is in effect, to the extent allowed by law. Was this declaration necessary? All of the city council members agreed the measures were drastic, but necessary for the sake of public health. I, as city manager, agree with our city council and support this action 100%. Do I need to stock up on groceries and supplies? No. There is no need for our community to hoard groceries or supplies, as shelves have been and will continue to be restocked. The community is urged to buy what you need and leave some for your neighbors. Who can I call for additional questions? Call our 24-hour coronavirus hotline at 956-795-4954. I mentioned that there were 9 motions made, and let me just quickly talk to you what those 9 were. The first one being the one we just talked about, passing this 2-week mandatory enforced lockdown, except for essentials, which include going to work, getting food, picking up pharmaceuticals, and getting home repairs. Restaurants can only be open for takeout or delivery. Closing of bars, maquinitas, entertainment, and fitness centers are required. Essentials include work as long as places of employment have safety protocols in place, such as hand sanitizers and temperature measuring devices to ensure employees do not become vectors of COVID-19. What they also took was another motion to prohibit the disconnect of utility fees. Another motion was to keep the spacing requirements that Metro was already practicing. The fourth one was to restrict landlords to not evict resident tenants during